Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. For this video, I'm going to be speaking on Ink Master's own Daniel Silva. He was featured on the hit show Ink Master, where they compete doing tattoos to see who can become the ultimate Ink Master.
Alright, nobody talk. I've never tattooed in front of a live crowd, and I called out Ryan Ashley the Ink Master. If I don't beat her now, I'm gonna look like a total idiot. Already won. I know I have my work cut out for me.
And I actually found out, pretty recently, maybe a couple months back, he has a YouTube channel as well.
I'm Daniel Silva, and for those of you new here, I'm a tattoo artist in Los Angeles, California, and today is story time. This is gonna be my first ever story time, and it's gonna be all about my experience on Ink Master Angels.
Well, him and a friend of his, Corey LeBerry, who's also a successful YouTuber with a couple 100,000 subscribers, 1 million followers on Instagram, they got together for Corey's birthday. And if you go on Corey's YouTube channel, his last video that was posted, I believe the title says something along the lines of going to delete in 24 hours. And he even says in the video, it's my birthday. We might be getting a little bit drunk later.
Tomorrow is my birthday. Yes, I am getting old. That's it. Okay, guys, I love you guys. And if you're there, let's fucking go. We might get a little bit drunk, but who knows? All right, bye.
And it's eerie to watch it because he didn't know what would happen later that night. They were driving a 2020 McLaren, a very fast, very expensive car. Daniel Silva was driving. He was intoxicated. He hit a stop sign, he hit a tree, and his friend was killed. Now, Daniel tried to leave the scene, but was stopped by eyewitnesses to the crash. He went to the hospital with a broken hip, and he is now being charged with murder. When I first read the headline on TMZ that Daniel Silva being arrested for murder, I was like, who did he kill? Why did he kill somebody? He, seems successful. Why would he need to do something like that? And then I read how it was a case of drinking and driving. He crashed, and his friend that was in the car with him unfortunately passed away. And the title to me, and I may upset some people, the title to me is very misleading. I read a lot of comments, and a lot of comments were very hateful towards Daniel Silva. Oh, he's a murderer. Drinking and driving to me is the same as premeditated murder. That's crazy to me. By no means is drinking and driving responsible. Do you deserve to be punished for the loss of another person's life due to the fact that you were drinking and driving? Yes. It's a horrible mistake. But to put someone in the same category as somebody that thinks, plans, plots, and executes a murder, I don't agree with that whatsoever. I met a handful of kids inside of prison. When I say kids, I mean between the ages of, let's say, 14 to 24 years old, youth offender prisons. I've met kids that have prom night, whatever it is, drunk and drive, crashed a car, killed their friend, and it chews them up on the inside. And the majority of them were not charged with a murder, but charged with a vehicular manslaughter in the state of Florida. I don't know if California state laws are differently. They don't have a manslaughter charge, a vehicular manslaughter charge. But in Florida, if you do something like that, you're looking at about 10 years, and the majority of these kids that I found that had these cases received 10 years. And the murder, the death, the manslaughter, it ate them up inside because it wasn't an intentional thing. And in most cases, it was someone that they were close to. Whether it was a girlfriend, a best friend, it was very hard for them to understand the situation that they put themselves in due to the fact that they were so heavily intoxicated. They had to first gather their mind and thoughts once they became sober and realize what had actually just happened. Now, you always have to sympathize with the victim, the victim's family, the victim's friends, because it's a death that just shouldn't have happened. And I'm sure it is shocking everyone that was a follower of Corey LeBerry, everyone that knew him personally. It's got to hit hard. But at the same time, I'm wondering why he's been charged with a murder. I'm wondering why he's being portrayed as if he picked up a knife or a gun and killed somebody in cold blood. I'm sure that when they do, the autopsy report on the deceased, they're going to find that he was intoxicated as well because it was his birthday. So it could have gone either way. It's just a matter of who picked up the keys and decided to drive. And that responsibility falls on Daniel Silva. Now for him, what do I think will happen to him? I honestly think he's going to do some time. I believe he's going to go to prison. I don't really see this ending with county jail or with a huge amount of probation. I mean, if you can afford a McLaren, I don't even know if he bought it. He could have rented it, whatever it is. He has over 1 million followers on Instagram, but Instagram really doesn't make you money unless you're doing promo or things like that. His YouTube channel is pretty successful. I'm sure that he can afford some type of a lawyer, but I do feel that he will still have to serve some prison time. Now, I found out who he was, through Ink Master, and then found out he had a channel. And I was actually planning to reach out to Daniel Silva and get tattooed by him. That was going to be my Los Angeles trip, as I was going to fly out to LA, link up with him, get tattooed. And one thing I like that he does with his tattooing and his channel is he brings them both together and actually somewhat interviews the person that he's tattooing, asking them whatever type of questions it is. And to me, that's one of my favorite parts of getting tattooed, is just the social aspect, because you can only listen to music for so long. You'll get some tattoo guys that don't want to talk at all. That's cool. I'll just put the headphones in. And then you have some where you're swapping life stories. You're speaking on your tattoos. They'll ask about other ones that you have. And usually when someone asks me about my tattoos, I end up speaking on prison. And I felt that, going on a channel like his with somebody that is on the level that he's on, it could be very beneficial to my channel having a collaboration like that. Even though it's technically not a collaboration, I'm just getting tattooed by this guy, and I'm fortunate enough to be brought onto his channel and able to share, a couple of stories and whatnot. But I literally was planning for this trip. This was going to be my LA trip to get tattooed by him. If you haven't seen his work, he does incredible work. I really like the black and white, but how he's able to add color to the eyes, it just makes things pop. Now, for the prison channel followers, for those that are subbed to the prison channels, we've all heard what type of a hellhole California is. Him being white, arrested, locked up in California, he's a wood. He's a wood. And out in California, to my understanding, a wood is a non-affiliated white. You're a peckerwood, you're a white. That's what you automatically are. You have to click with your race. It is not organization based. And honestly, I'm not sure how that is going to go for him, because you never know until someone's back is against the wall, but he just doesn't seem like that type of person. And not only that, when you have someone that is successful with the celebrity status over their head, the first thing that they're told by everyone is don't get in any more trouble. Don't fuck up. Don't go to jail and start fighting. Don't get caught poking somebody up. Don't entertain the bullshit because you want to look as good as possible in front of that judge. But at the same time, when you're in a place that is so controlled by the inmates, such as California, there's really not too much you can do unless you go PC. And if he's already gone PC or is going PC, I feel bad for him, because prison is not going to be any easier for him. It's only going to get harder. He's going to have to PC up when he gets to the prisons. It's just a very unfortunate situation, One life lost and another life ruined. And no one is at fault but him for drinking and driving. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be like, where the fuck are you even going out to? We're supposed to be on lockdown, the coronavirus. It's a sad fucking story. Either way you look at it, it's a very unfortunate situation to be put into. And that's why drinking, driving, being intoxicated, all of these things, it's very important to pay attention to cases like this. because it's people that have attracted no type of negative energy. It's people that have not gone out of their way to partake in crime, gangs, any sort of criminal activity. You can have any type of lifestyle, be an average Joe, and make a simple mistake. You can have that false sense of confidence, that liquid courage. I'm good, I can drive. It could even be social peer pressure. And you decide to get into that car with someone who is drunk, or you decide to drive the car drunk yourself. And you can find yourself sitting in a cell, broken hip, your friend passed away on his birthday, and you're thinking about what is in store for me for the next 10 to 15 years. Am I going to be living inside of a prison where my life is no longer in control by me and barely even the COs? My life is in the hands of these inmates and the politics enforced in the California Department of Corrections. You know, one of the things that is the hardest for me with having friends that have died either from accidents, murders, or things that they themselves could have avoided. The hardest thing is realizing that their death is something that people can learn from and that I can learn from. And it's tough because I don't want to remember them as a life lesson, as what not to do. Because the person I knew is so much bigger than just a lesson. Just don't follow that. Don't do what he did. But in situations like these, we need to pay attention to cases like these. We need to pay attention to how thin of a line life really is and how fast you can cross over to the other side. How fast your life can completely change and be ruined or ended. And with that being said, it's 1090J. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. Till next time.